Good morning, everyone. This is Laura Tibbetts in the system office. We've just started our live stream, and with that, I'd like to turn it over to Chair Flores to begin the call.
Good morning.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, the mute button does stop me. Good morning and welcome to the Telephonic Rules and Regulations Committee meeting for May 12, 2021. I am Regent Don Flores, chair of this committee. It is 11 o'clock Central Daylight Savings Time. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Secretary of State as required by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Government Code, Chapter 551. Please note that the audio of this meeting is being broadcast live. Before we take roll, I would also like to remind everyone to please mute their phones unless you need to speak. Laura, let's begin the roll call with committee members and any other regents.
Thank you, Chair Flores. I'll start with you, Chair Flores.
Present.
Regent Edwards.
This is Regent Edwards, present.
Thank you. Regent Tinsley.
Here.
Thank you. Do we have any other regents calling in? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll now call for this. Yeah, I'll go ahead and keep going. I'll now do roll call for the system office representatives. Chancellor McCall.
Here.
Nellie Herrera. Here. Daniel Harper.
Here.
Sean Cunningham. Did he step? He stepped out. Pierce Mitchell also stepped out. Carol Fox.
Here.
Thank you. Do we have any other system staff on the call? Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Hayek. I skipped right over you. And we also have Dr. Hayek in the room. Any other system? Okay, thank you. And now I'll move on to our schools, starting with Lamar University.
Ken Evans and Jeremy Altop.
Thank you, Dr. Evans. Sam Houston.
Lisa White.
Carlos Hernandez.
Chris Maynard.
Thank you, Dr. Maynard. Still Ross.
Good morning. This is Pete Gallego.
Jim Goodman.
Ivana Rally Vasquez.
Matt Moore.
Thank you. Texas State.
Denise Trouth here, along with Jean Bourgeois and Eric Algo.
Thank you, Dr. Trout. Let's hear from LIT. Okay, we'll come back. How about Lamar State College Orange?
Tom Johnson, Wendy Elmore, and Mary Wickland.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. And Lamar State College Port Arthur.
Betty Renard and Mary Wickland.
Thank you. And again, do we have anyone from LIT on the call? Okay, thank you. That concludes roll call.
Thank you. With that, I'd like to note that Vice Chancellor excuse me.
I'm sorry, LIT is on the call. For some reason, it didn't go through. Lonnie Howard, Miranda Phillips, Carrie Mix.
Thank you. We have it. Okay, back to you, Chair Flores.
Thank you, President. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to note that Vice Chancellor Nellie Herrera briefed me on the agenda items prior to the meeting. At this time, I ask that she present the Rules and Regulations Committee agenda items.
Thank you, Chairman Flores, and good morning to everybody on the call. We have 3 proposed changes to the system rules and regulations this morning. The first proposed rule is located on page RR1, or if you're following along in the board book, it's at page 246. The proposed rule adds a section to Chapter 3, Paragraph 5 regarding faculty academic workload policies. The rule basically requires each component to develop a faculty workload policy consistent with the requirements developed by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. It also requires that such faculty academic workloads be monitored and that reports for certification and approval be submitted to the component president and our Board of Regents. Dr. Hayek, would you like to add any additional explanation about the proposed rule at this time?
No, that was a good summary. Thank you.
All right. Chairman Flores, if there are any questions about the proposed rule, we're happy to answer those now. Otherwise, I'll move on to the next proposed rule.
Are there any questions regarding this item? I'm hearing none. Please proceed.
Thank you. The second proposed rule change is located on page RR3 or in Board Book, page 248. This proposed rule deletes and clarifies some language in Chapter 3, paragraph 10.71 regarding contract reporting. For this one, I was going to ask Vice Chancellor Harper to elaborate, but he's had to step out of the room. So with his permission, I'll go ahead and explain that the TSUS Contract Management Handbook contains the system's detailed contract reporting requirements. And some, but not all, of the reporting requirements were also contained in paragraph 10.71. So the belief was that by consolidating the detailed requirements into a single location, that would eliminate redundancies, and it would also avoid the risk of having conflicting language between language in our system rules and language in the contract management handbook. So Chairman Flores, at this time, I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have about this proposed rule. Otherwise, I'll move on to the last item.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding this item? Hearing none, would you please proceed?
Yes, sir. The last proposed rule change is located on page RR4 or Board Book 249. This proposed rule involves the delegation of authority to the president of Lamar University regarding the Texas Academy of Leadership in the Humanities. The rule change is to Chapter 4, paragraph 2.2, parentheses 27. And we basically are delegating to the president of Lamar the opportunity to designate the housing for those students participating in the Texas Academy of Leadership in the Humanities program. Again, Chairman Flores, if there are no questions on this last item, this concludes the presentation of the three proposed changes to the rules and regulations.
Are there any questions regarding the last item? Hearing none, with your permission, Regent Edwards and Regent Tinsley, I move that we recommend to the board the approval of the rules changes to the consent agenda.
I concur.
This is Regent Edwards. I concur.
Thank you. Those rule changes will be sent to the full board for deliberation. Rule changes may not be removed. I'm sorry. The rule changes not removed will remain on the consent agenda. Now, with your permission, Regent Edwards and Regent Tinsley, I move that we recommend board approval of the rules to the consent agenda.
I agree.
This is Regent Edwards. I agree.
Thank you. Thanks for everyone calling in. Unless there's further discussion, this concludes our telephone meeting today. For the record, the time is 10:09.
And that's 11:09.
I'm sorry, 11:09.
That's okay. We'll get our zones right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.